was happy to marry the person I wanted to spend my life with. When I gave birth to our daughter, I was so happy and I cried. Everything was going so perfectly, it was almost scary. But then, I realized that this smooth sailing life was just an illusion. The moment I discovered my husband's betrayal, I made up my mind. I'm Amy, 30 years old, working mother. I'm leaving my cheating husband. What? He's not there. I shouted when I got the call from the daycare. I quickly lowered my voice and asked again, but it was true. They told me my daughter hadn't been picked up. Today was supposed to be my husband's turn to pick her up. I hung up and immediately called my husband's phone, but it went to voicemail. Was his phone off, or had the battery died? I apologized to my boss and left work early, rushing to pick up my daughter from the daycare. That night, the front door slammed loudly. After loud footsteps, the living room door banged open. The person who entered locked eyes with me, sitting with my arms crossed in the chair. I glared at my husband who had just come home. Be quiet. Emily is sleeping, and you'll get complaints from the downstairs neighbors. Our daughter Emily is only 3 years old. The poor child was left alone at daycare, crying because her father never showed up. When I picked her up, she was so exhausted from crying that she fell asleep immediately. Not being picked up by her father must have been a huge shock for her. After we got home, she was unusually quiet and barely ate her dinner. And now, it's 10 p.m. Emily should be asleep. But this foolish husband came home making a racket. Of course, I'm furious. What were you doing until now? You were supposed to pick her up today. I held back my anger and asked calmly. Maybe there was an unavoidable reason. I was tied up with work. Then at least call me or the daycare. I was busy. By the time I noticed, it was too late. What could I do? What do you mean, what could you do? I was getting more and more frustrated with his lack of remorse. Lately, for about the past year, my husband has been acting strange. This wasn't the first time he forgot to pick up Emily. I remembered the first 3 times. I've stopped counting now. It happens that often. It's unbelievable, considering how much he adored Emily. There are other strange things too. He's been working late more often. Busy or not, it's already 10 p.m. Does your company really keep you that late? His company encourages taking time off and limits overtime. It should be bedtime by now. If he's coming home at 10 p.m., that means he left work around 9:30 p.m. In the past, even when he had overtime, he'd be done by 8 p.m. Something is wrong. Something is fishy. We can't afford to be so lenient with the economy being bad. I'll be coming home around this time for a while, so you'll have to pick up Emily. Even though I thought it was strange, I didn't know much about his job. I wasn't convinced, but I didn't want to make Emily sad, so I nodded in agreement. A month passed since my husband stopped picking up Emily. His return times got even later, sometimes past midnight. There were even nights when he stayed at the office. Last night, he came home around 9 p.m. for the first time in a while, but he shut himself in his room, saying he was tired. In the morning, while I was making breakfast, he came out looking sleepy. Good morning. He didn't respond. He had stopped even greeting us properly. Good morning, Daddy. Yeah. His response to Emily was just as cold. Daddy, you know what? You're noisy in the morning. Daddy's tired. Talk to me later. I'm sorry. Even when she tried to talk to him, his response was cold. That was too much. Before I could say anything, he shut himself in the bathroom. Is Daddy mad? Emily looked worried. How could he act like that towards a 3-year-old child? I was furious with his behavior. At night, he came home past 10 p.m. again. How does he plan to talk to Emily like this? I spoke to him after his bath. Hey, spend some time with Emily. She's feeling lonely. I'm tired. You're not around even on your days off. It's work, what can I do? You never had to work weekends before. Did your job change that suddenly? Shut up. It happened suddenly. I was just asking because I was curious, but he yelled at me with a furious expression. I froze. Who do you think I'm working so hard for? It's all for you guys. I'm exhausted, and all you do is complain. Why should I work from morning till night for people who don't appreciate me? Screw this. Was this how he really felt? Did he resent us, thinking he was sacrificing himself for the family? Shocked by his anger, all I could say was, I'm sorry. I don't know what he thought after seeing my reaction. He said, I can't relax in this house. I'm staying at a hotel for a while, and left. He didn't come back for a week. When he finally returned one day without a word, he still hardly spoke to me or Emily. It felt like he treated us as if we didn't matter. The bedroom is locked by him, so I sleep in the children's room with Emily. Just a year ago, the three of us used to sleep together. How did things end up like this? Every night, I cried and thought about it, but days passed without finding the cause or a solution. One day, while my husband was taking his usual late-night bath, I was picking up his suit scattered on the floor. He's very messy. These little things pile up and irritate me. I grabbed his shirt roughly. The moment I looked down at it, my eyes widened. I spread it out to see better. On the chest of the white shirt, there was a red lipstick stain. What is this? There was no one to answer my whispered question. Only my husband's humming from the bathroom could be heard. The sound of the keyboard clattering filled the room. While working, my mind was preoccupied with last night. That was definitely a woman's lipstick. I don't own a lipstick in that color. Besides, for the past year, he hasn't even come close enough for me to leave lipstick marks on him. How could he have gotten that on him? If it were a crowded train, maybe, but he commutes by car. Considering every possibility, it's 99% certain he's cheating. The remaining 1% is just a faint hope that I still want to believe. But it's almost 100% confirmed. So, what should I do now? Honestly, I want a divorce. I have no feelings left for him who neglects his family. Financially, I would be fine. I have a decent salary as a full-time employee. But what about Emily's feelings? A year ago, before my husband changed, he had a good relationship with her. Lately, he's been cold and doesn't interact with her, but she still loves her daddy. Is it right to take her father away from her? Is that the right decision? My thoughts were consumed by these unanswered questions, and I finally stopped typing. It was then that my boss, Mike, called out to me. A business trip? Yeah. Usually, it's a day trip, but this time it's a bit far. Plus, we need to visit multiple locations, so it might be a 3-night, 4-day trip. Mike's request was for a long business trip. Being asked to go on a business trip means my work is recognized. So, it's good news, but I was still worried about my daughter and couldn't answer right away. That night, I nervously asked my husband, who came home late again. What do you think? I know you're busy with work too, so I feel bad asking you to take care of her for 4 days. It's fine. I thought he'd say no, but surprisingly, he agreed easily. I was shocked, and he smiled at me. I've been busy lately, and making Emily feel lonely. But it'll be tough alone, so I think I'll take her to my parents' house. To your parents? What about work? I'll use my accumulated leave. Is that okay? Yeah. Don't worry about Emily, you go and do your best at work. He said, puffing out his chest proudly. When was the last time I saw him like this? It felt like he was back to his old self. He really does care about Emily. The recent coldness must have been because he was genuinely busy with work. I felt a wave of relief and happiness. The next day, I told Emily, and she was thrilled. Do I get to see Grandpa and Grandma? And go with Daddy? Yay! His parents' house is a 2-hour train ride away. A little trip like that made her really excited. Seeing her so happy, I thought, I'm glad I didn't go through with the divorce. That's what I felt. Finally done. It finished earlier than expected. Good job, everyone. Yes. Good job. I said goodbye to Mike and we parted ways at the station. The business trip went smoother than I thought, and we finished earlier than planned. Although we had allowed extra time, a 3-night trip was completed in 2 nights. It was still before noon. I decided to head home and relax for a bit. I planned to contact my husband tonight or tomorrow morning, and started my journey home. I'm home. Though no one's here. My husband and Emily were still at his parents' house. They were supposed to come back tomorrow, the day I was originally scheduled to return. So the house should have been empty. Or so I thought. Clatter. But as soon as I entered, I heard a noise from the back. A burglar. The first thing that came to mind was a break-in. I held my bag in front of me for protection and walked slowly and quietly. I carefully opened the living room door, and there. Emily. I forcefully opened the door and rushed into the living room. Emily was lying on the floor. What's wrong, Emily? Are you okay? What if she doesn't wake up? My heart was pounding with fear. Thankfully, she responded to my voice quickly. Mommy. Her eyes barely opened. She saw me and started to tear up. Mommy? Mommy. Emily, thank goodness you're okay. I hugged my crying daughter tightly. I almost started crying too. Once she had calmed down, I asked her. Emily, why were you lying down? Where's Daddy? Daddy's not here. Could he have gone shopping? How could he leave such a young child alone? Did he leave thinking she'd stay asleep? I need to call him back right away. As I reached for my phone, Emily said something shocking. Daddy hasn't been here. I told him not to go, but he left. I've been alone all this time. I was so scared, Mommy. And I'm hungry. She started crying again. I lowered my phone in shock. Looking closely at her, she seemed a bit thinner and more gaunt. What do you mean he's been gone? He went shopping, right? Emily shook her head. Since this morning? He's been gone longer. Since when? Right after you left. The phone in my hand made a cracking sound. I must have gripped it too tightly. After checking it wasn't broken, I made a call. Not to my husband, but to his parents' house. Hello? Oh, hi, it's Amy. It's been a while. Oh, Amy? It's been so long. How have you been? Good, thank you. Is my husband there? But before I could ask, his mother spoke first. How's Emily? And my son? He never calls, he's so busy. You all should come visit sometime. No need to ask further. I felt like I understood everything already. Yes, we're all fine. I took a deep breath and asked. My husband isn't there with you, is he? What? No, he hasn't called at all. Is he supposed to be here for a business trip or something? There you have it. My husband, who said he was taking Emily to his parents' house, didn't go there. I hung up and opened his laptop. Sure enough, there were numerous searches related to travel. I found out where he planned to go and which hotel he booked. A very nice hotel, I might add. And the reservation was for 2 people. Definitely not just 2 guys on a trip. It's probably the owner of that lipstick. So? That idiot husband is on a cheating trip, leaving Emily behind. Taking advantage of my absence, he left our 3-year-old daughter alone. Unbelievable. As anger turned my vision red, I made another phone call. After the call, I looked at Emily sleeping on the sofa. Tear stains marked her face. I left for my business trip, and shortly after, my husband left the house. It's been about 3 days since then. To think Emily was left alone all that time. How scared she must have been. How lonely she must have felt. How frightened she must have been. I'm so sorry, Emily. I'm so sorry. I kept apologizing to my sleeping daughter as I cried. After crying for a while, I lifted my head and tied my hair back. I couldn't afford to waste any more time. I started moving to take care of what needed to be done. I made another call. This time, to my husband. Hello? I didn't think he'd answer, but after a few rings, he picked up. Oh, it's you? Where are you right now? Ha? I'm with Emily at my parents' place. Really now? That, Emily is right here beside me. But I didn't let on that I knew anything. I see. How is Emily? Oh, she's great. My parents are spoiling her since it's been a while. She's having a blast. Which Emily are you talking about? The real one is exhausted from crying herself to sleep. I wanted to scream at him, but I held back for now. Actually, my business trip is taking longer than expected. It'll be about 3 more days. But you have work, right? Can you manage taking care of Emily alone at home? It'll be tough alone. I'll talk to my company. It's not a busy season, so I think I can extend my leave. Great, that would really help. I'll be back in 3 days. Okay, good luck. Suppressing my boiling anger, I hung up. Now I had enough time. I clenched my fist tightly. The next morning, the moving company arrived. I had called them yesterday, and it was fortunate they could come right away. It wasn't a busy season, which worked in my favor. As expected of professionals. They efficiently packed everything up, and the move was completed quickly. Now, I wondered how my husband would react when he got home. 3 days later, I received a call on my phone. As expected, it was from my husband. Hello? What the hell is going on? He yelled as soon as I answered. I held the phone away from my ear because of the noise. He was shouting so loudly I could still hear him. I just got back from my parents' place, and what's this? Why is everything gone? Where's all my stuff? I sent all your belongings to your parents' house. What? Why? I terminated the lease on the apartment. It's been put up for sale. I've moved out. What? What do you mean, you did all this without telling me? This makes no sense. Emily saw the empty room and cried her eyes out. Oh really? Can you put Emily on the phone, please? Well, she's actually exhausted from crying and is asleep right now. Then I'll call back later so I can talk to her. My husband's voice showed clear signs of panic. It's hard to say when she'll wake up. Actually, where is Emily? He probably called me immediately, after entering the empty apartment without checking on Emily first. How selfish to worry about his belongings before Emily's safety. What do you mean, where is she? Aren't you with Emily? You just said she was sleeping. Oh, yeah, she was. But I could hear doors opening and closing frantically on the other end of the line. He was obviously panicking because he couldn't find her anywhere. Hey, everything is gone from the house. And Emily. Emily is. What about Emily? Well. Did he really think I hadn't noticed anything was wrong? What a fool. You really are an idiot. Emily is with me. What? She's with me at my parents' house. What? What do you mean? What kind of joke is this? No joke. Who's the one doing things behind my back? My patience was finally at its limit. As my husband tried to deflect the blame, I exploded in anger. What were you thinking, going on a cheating trip and leaving Emily alone while I was on a business trip? Did you not consider what could happen to her if she was left alone for nearly a week? Wait. No, your affair partner is a junior colleague, isn't she? I know all about it. Wait, how do you know that? How could you so casually neglect Emily? You are the worst. If you like that junior colleague so much, you can stay with her. I don't need a man like you. We're getting a divorce. Wait, no. If we get divorced, what will I do? Did you tell my parents? Of course. The apartment is under your father's name, so he's already put it up for sale. He said he'll give me the money once it's sold. What? And you and your affair partner will be fired for unethical behavior. No way. My husband worked for a company where his father was an executive. When I told him about the affair and how he left Emily alone, he was furious. He immediately hired a private investigator to look into my husband's actions. In just one day, they found all the evidence, including the identity of the other woman. Such efficiency. You'll pay the alimony and child support in one lump sum. Be ready. Please, I'm sorry. It was a mistake. Please don't divorce me or get me fired. He was crying and begging on the other end of the phone. But I didn't care. There was no room for sympathy. This is your own doing. You put Emily's life in danger. Go to hell. With that, I hung up the phone. Serves you right. After that, with the cooperation of my parents and his parents, the divorce was finalized. My husband became my ex-husband. I received alimony from the other woman, and both alimony and child support from my ex-husband. Of course, neither of them had such a large sum of money. My ex-husband's parents had to take out a loan to pay it. To repay that debt, my ex-husband became a workaholic. The job assigned to my ex-husband after he was fired was grueling. It involved intense physical labor. Under the strict supervision of his parents, he wasn't allowed to slack off. At night, he worked part-time at a convenience store. He was working around the clock with barely any time to sleep. Whether he would pay off his debt first or collapse from exhaustion was anyone's guess. I don't care though. The same went for the other woman. She had targeted my ex-husband, thinking he had money as the son of an executive. Her actions, knowing he was married, left no room for sympathy. Like my ex-husband, she was also assigned to a physically demanding job. Strict supervision ensured she couldn't escape. The price for meddling with someone else's husband was steep. As for Emily and me, I thought Emily might miss her father, but she surprisingly didn't seem to care. It seemed she had erased her father from her mind. The wound from being abandoned must have been deep. With the love and care from me and her grandparents, Emily grew into a bright and cheerful child. Seeing her smile, I felt deeply that divorcing was the right decision. As for me, around the time Emily started elementary school, I met someone new. A man from my workplace. Being with someone who cherished both me and Emily brought us both joy. As we spent peaceful and happy times together, I thought, maybe we'll have a new family soon. I held my smiling daughter close, feeling hopeful for the future.